And as always, without mitigating the seriousness of a lawsuit or the necessity to pay serious attention to it, I contest that it will be less frightening and less upsetting when you are more well informed. The first thing I want to discuss in the event of a lawsuit is responding to the summons. I cannot stress this enough. The very first thing you need to do if you receive a court summons is to read the first page immediately and very carefully, looking for where it will tell you how much time you have to respond to the summons. You can see on my summons here that I had 30 calendar days to respond. It is noted in caps. The court really wants you to know the time frame that you have to respond to this summons. If you don't respond within the time frame, there are a lot of repercussions that we'll go into in a moment. So read that first page carefully. Generally, it's 30 days in a suit like this, but I cannot speak for every jurisdiction in the country, so make sure you look at yours and note if it says, as mine does, calendar days. That is different from business days. Calendar days includes weekends. Also, that response time is marked from the day you receive the summons, not from the date that is stamped on the summons or from the date the lawsuit was filed, but from the date you receive the summons. If the court does not receive your proper response within that calendar day time, the 30 days noted on this summons, in all likelihood, your bank will move forward with what's called a summary judgment, meaning you will be ruled against at trial without your presence or ability to defend or show up on your own behalf, which would accelerate all potential real-world consequences. So again, I stress, if you receive a court summons, if you get sued, read that first page carefully, note how much time you have to respond, and respond within that time frame. With that now clear, let's talk about the proper way to respond to a summons. You will also note language in this summons that any response must be filed in a format that is acceptable to the court. What that means is that unless you are an attorney and know what that acceptable format is, you cannot just write a letter that expresses whatever your views are on the lawsuit and owing debt and banks and financing and credit cards and all of that. That will not be a format deemed acceptable by the court and will not be accepted as a proper summons. You need to hire an attorney who can file the proper paperwork as a response to your lawsuit. You cannot and should not attempt to learn in less than 30 days that proper response. Hire an attorney who knows how to do it so that the response filed is appropriate and that you have the most protection you can in moving forward with a lawsuit. Of course, in hiring an attorney, you will have to pay that attorney's fee. I know from personal experience that filing a response to a summons of this kind should take an attorney who is experienced in this area no more than an hour. If you are interviewing different attorneys for this service and someone quotes you many hours of work and interviews and assessments and drafts, know that they are likely overcharging you, if not illegally. There is no information that your attorney needs from you in order to file this response, including details on the credit cards or accounts or balances or the lenders or any of that. It is a form that your attorney with experience in this area already has. Maybe they will charge you for 2 hours because there's some processing to it, but just know this is not an extraordinarily detailed or extensive or expensive process for an attorney to file this response for you. You may even find on the internet or in the Yellow Pages or on Yelp an attorney's service that will do this for you for a flat fee. Now, none of that includes representing you in court. If your case actually moves forward to trial and you need an attorney to represent you in court, that's an entirely different thing at an hourly rate with attorneys who you should interview to find someone who has experience in that. As I said, I have never been to court. None of my readers have ever been to court that I know of, because I always encourage coming to a reasonable settlement before it gets that far. But if it goes that far, that will be an additional service that you'll have to pay an attorney for. Right now, you just need to make sure you get somebody who will, for a reasonable fee, submit the response to court on your behalf. There will also be a fee for the filing that the court charges. In Los Angeles, California, when I did this, the fee was $435. Your jurisdiction may be different, higher or lower. I can't speak to every jurisdiction, but you will also pay the filing fee in addition to your attorney's fee, which should not be much more than that in and of itself.